I'll also begin showing all my. I saw Eddie Kenzo. They copied my list. You know where I usually put all my hits. They're like, for us now, let's put all the countries where we've toured. Now I'm also going to start putting festivals where I've toured. Since you guys don't know that I've won international awards.
Museum, my guy.
That's not a museum. You think that's a museum? Uganda, we need to be serious as a country. Please, as a country. That's not a museum. AOC museum. Tujitume chintu ekirala. Tujitume maybe our culture store, but that's not a museum. We need to put money together, as we are one of the most diverse places in the world. The most. That gift is so unique that it can bring us a lot of money. So, to call your contribution to government, we as a people we deserve better representation when it comes to having a museum, your store. Because I used to go there, by the way, in primary school. Remember, primary, secondary, they used to take us there. This was the first car in Uganda. You're like, wow, the car. And like, all these things were really dope. Until you get shocked. It was Motesa's car, yeah?
Yeah.
It's a dope car.
Yeah.
But it's until you walk through the doors of a real museum. and then
you're
like,
somebody must have packed this here.
like
telling us.
Yes. Man, you enter the... How would we have a whole culture of like Banyoro, the Nyungu Yamawes, the what? Not a wali or the artifact, you're just telling us stories. That's not a museum.
Actually, I stayed in that.
At least let's recreate it and say this is what the representation of what that would look like. Yeah. We have sculptors, we have people who can. Let's put these artisans to some work. Museum, that's a store. That's a culture
Maybe
store.
If they hand it to you, it could work. But the guys who are handling that here, we need to first solve the problem of hunger.
Guys are eating money.
Hell is hungry.
We first solve the problem of hunger.
Yes.
Guys are feeding
themselves. Someone is going to be like...
But let me... I hate to have these discussions because most of these discussions now in this political environment turn out to be political. But I'm attempting to have a social discussion, right? Like, there are countries, right, where you build upon what you've been blessed with. So in Uganda, one of the things we've been blessed with, whether you like it or not, it's our diversity, that twin tribes, 62 tribes.
Yeah.
Like 62 documented tribes, each with a history, each with a cuisine, each with something. A lifestyle, you get me? So you can't tell me that there is nowhere where I can go and find that in one center represented. For example, nze bwe mba kati njagala emmere embobeze enfumbe in a Buganda traditional sense, I'm going to be hard pressed to find anything like that.
Yeah.
Kone bagibobeza kati bagibobereza mu kaveera. They put that in a kadeya and then they present that to you. But if we put up a center where people can actually pay dollars, pay euros, pay yens, because that's omuntu omubuuza what are the top 5 things to do in Kampala and bakunyumiza Kasubi tombs and then they begin saying tukutwaleko ku independence manya monument, they can think, I'm even taller than it.
Can you believe Rolex is the tourist attraction?
Okay, that's an experience. Tourism comes in like so many forms. Even that's food tourism too, yeah? But I'm talking about like a collective space. And Itesot man used to look like this. Akasisira kenga kafanana bwekat. He used to have wife 1, wife 2. Like the bombers in Kenya have this. When you go to Kenya, all their tribes represented, how they used to live, their food.
But I think the huts are there.
Where?
Behind.
In the museum?
Yeah, they have those huts.
62 huts?
Yeah. The Banyoro,
yes.
The Buganda hut, how it looked like.
Yes.
They're actually there up to now.
Okay, I haven't seen them. But the last time that when sculptures almost.
No. They're just huts, how they look.
One thing I know about the tourism sector in Uganda,
it's still growing.
There's an issue with it. It doesn't grow.
There's nothing.
I think it's growing. I want to cut them some grace while also painting the picture of.
Yeah, there's just a problem. You know.
Every time we are growing.
We are growing. Okay,
we never
guys, the picture I wanted to paint. We can base on our cultural richness, yeah, and attract and pull people here off just what we have. All we need to do is find a center where they can experience the dance, the food, the colors, the paintings. Agenda okuva nga tumukamuddemu $5 in a day.
Can you
One
imagine?
visitor 500, and if it's a family, that's a bigger package. That feeds the hunger. But if we don't invest in these things, someone else is going to come and profit off them.
What you just said, right?
Yeah.
I have friends that every time I'm thinking, oh, that's the thing, but not only that, I'm always thinking, now,
But walewa.
yes.
Mm.
Because every time we are going somewhere, it's like, oh, we're going to do ABC, but I'm always like, Uganda.
But Uganda has a
Aside
lot.
from Kubale, you know.
Kubala.
Yes, the Chibala.
No.
And the Chibala, we should also actually invest
feel
in
it
the
as an
Chibala
experience.
culture as an experience.
Right. But I'm always like, Kaden,
Every day, Chibala every day.
Yes.
what am I going to do for you with them in Kampala?
Mm.
One day.
Mm.
But I think
Yes.
we just need
Yes,
to.
yes.
You see, you say
Compared to other countries, sorry, you struggle to for a visitor who travels and they go for experiences in other cities, you struggle with things to do in Kampala if it's an itinerary of about a week. Day one, you could go do the Chibala, take them have the street food. Day two, nemugende yo mu national park nemukomawo. Day three, trust me, abera beer yeka.
Because then you're like,
Ochitegeera, there's nothing else to do.
It's
Yeah.
hard. These roads are
Yeah.
hard for-
Yeah. Sometimes I tell people, we're going to be driving. They're like, driving 6 hours. They want you a plane. Then you're like, let me look for a plane.
So what would we
Then
say?
they go
Should
do. Then you thought you'd kill like 3 days by telling them, let's go drive, get a hotel there. They kill that within together. We see the gorillas and then we are back in the morning. So you end up like, now what do we do? You take them to Ndere Center. Okay, that's one night. Then you're like, what do I do? So someone needs to really actually make it a deliberate effort to curate experiences for visitors, and we need to have a serious center, a culture, because our culture is our wealth.
and
Yeah.
culture is actually Uganda is culture. You know. Sometimes I wonder why we go to Zanzibar. We go to Zanzibar just because of that white sand.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me, Uganda. But I know why Zanzibar is making more money now. Like she said before, we need to understand ourselves. Uganda, as per now, needs to be a destination country for summer, for people from winter
Yes.
during summer.
Yes.
Because we have a lot.
Yes.
We have a lot, but we fail to understand who we are
Mm.
economically and socially. Because trust me, we have the best sceneries, we have the best weather, we have the best food. We have all varieties of food, including the fruits. But you cannot tell me that someone flies in, they go to Fort Portal,
Yeah.
and that's it.
So you see, we have those good experiences. No lyagambye obusisira gye buli. There's a time when my partner, they had to drive up to, or was it Bundibujo, somewhere like in the West area. But because they wanted to make this brew, local brew, like African women, we call it, where you grind kurubengo, you make the millet into whatever, ferment, bichi. But they made the shabwe, they made the bushera and whatever, and all these other things, and then they weaved baskets. But they had to drive so far. I think most Western economies was thriving as that they make it so convenient that it's well within reach. So when you're giving them this ticket, when you're paying for this ticket, a person can spend half a day there just going through room A, room B, room this, and just like learning. Videos are used, audio recordings are used, tour guides, the sculptors are making their things, the women that weave baskets are there, the fashion is involved. You get me?
But also,
Yeah,
we have
all these
this
other
thing-
things that Biberanga is so convenient. But we have them here. And trust me, there are people who are trying to revive the industry
Yeah.
or to make it move forward. But the experiences are just too scattered. Actually, they're too scattered. California has the highest number of visitors to Uganda, tourism-wise. Did you guys know that? Most visitors to Uganda now, Tepavana Europe, California. But they only come here because bagala gorillas.
That's what we've sold.
But we have so many other things besides the gorillas. Twagala, but tulekereza gorilla naye tugende nga fashion they have bought, baskets they have bought, our furniture and we're just ready to ship to them. Like there's no reason why we shouldn't have like a Ugandan chair designed that can be in a New York apartment.
And it's there.
Yeah.
But like you know, like you said, you get surprised when you drive up country. Like for example, Maction Falls during summer, June, July, you get surprised seeing people, tourists there, and you're like, are these people really here? But someone comes in, they spend whatever they spend, but they don't even go with a souvenir out there.
Kati nogenda bajerega banyiigire anti kati nze banyiigira bunyigiza ennaku zino naye weewo yateekwa okugamba ensowera ekwagala ye kugwa kubbwa. Guys, like, why does all Ugandan art look the same? Have you ever gone to our villages batunda art? Buli omu yabagize ka guy with a spear. Everyone nakola guy with a spear and all of them look the same? Like binyiza. All of them, mutimba lesunga have the same pattern. African print is the same thing. Nobody has thought about things that are out of the box. Ochiraba, like, I know we are trying, but we need to try harder. And the thing is that the reason why we need to try harder is because we are still thinking in the same boxes of creating. Tuchakwata bukwasi katiba, to take our then we say, people from outside the countries love this. Chidi ugly. But I think the innovation of all these art students and the combination of our ancestral wisdom can be married into workshops and things and making deliberate efforts to create Ugandan products and experiences that attract and bring money to our lovely country. Yeah.
You know, even with the artists, an artist goes to perform on stage and copies an outfit that was well in the US, yet we have people who are creative here who can do something really better for an artist to come perform.
Actually, speaking about that, there's this thing we have in Uganda. Who makes these guys clothes when they're going on stage? I'm not trying to this. I'm not trying to this, but whenever there's a concert, the artist that has organized the concert comes out with some funny dress codes.
On that, let me defend the designers. On that, it could be a matter of taste. On that, it could be a matter of taste that some people dress badly. Actually, for you to dress badly and go on stage, you're dressed in something ridiculous, right? It only speaks to your taste because you're the commander of the show. Nobody's going to force you to wear a dress which is ridiculous. Nobody's going to force you to put,
but
like
that cuts across so many artists.
Yeah, but it also boils down to taste. This color does not go with this ngagamba.
No, but I think blue. But I think Zamba, it goes back to the fashion designer. You know, when you're a fashion designer, you've got a free runway.
Yeah,
do they get from the same designer, or it's like different designers? They're different the same designers,
kind
of
but our designers have an issue. You know, most artists are okay with wearing free outfit to promote you, but you have to understand the artists themselves.
Yes.
Then you build something onto them because, like I said, you've got free runway.
Yes.
You're not going to do a showcase. You have a free showcase. If you have 3 outfits or 4 outfits for an artist, that's marketing for you.
So you're saying that the fashion designers don't know what they are doing?
Yeah, the fashion designers have issues.
On this side, I'm going to be on the side of the designers because Uganda's designers, because when I go to a brands, whenever they're exhibiting something, you see that Uganda's fashion is growing much more faster than other sectors, actually. Yeah. But the designers are doing their thing.
There's a guy
have you guys ever been to like a church on a Christmas? Nogamba naye gundi biki byoyamba yagenze nabyegulira nagende omutunzi nabitunga.
There's a guy who almost died on stage.
Who?
He was wearing the astronaut suit that he could not breathe.
But the designers that he's talking about, Zamba, the designers that you're talking about at A-Brands, those designers don't even reside in Uganda, most of those ones.
But they're Ugandans.
Yes, they are Ugandans, but they...
stylist.
No, he usually brings designers.
Who are you talking about?
A-Brands. Is he a designer or a stylist?
I think he's a stylist.
He's a
stylist.
But he brings designers on the fashion event. But the designers that he brings, my dear, even one outfit is expensive.
Actually, I think he's a designer and a stylist because he designs his own brand now.
Yeah,
there's a brand of underwear, sportswear. Yeah. He's a designer and a stylist. But tubalina wanene abasobola ku exporting ebintu ebirine ku runways ebweru.
Naye mwagala ku spending anti mwe kati.
You're not talking to me because for me I spend on Ugandan stuff.
Kuba artist ajja n'ayagala amukolera ebintu. First of all, one kanzeko ne kusaidia ba designer. One artist designer bamuwa a designer.
Now you guys should differentiate a costume from an outfit. Just sort of Zambaland gende bweru. A costume is for performance.
They are given costumes,
about a person wearing tin for you.
But Zamba, do you know why I can never be on the side of designers? I myself have tried 4 times to dress a Frigo band with fashion designers, but I always get disappointed.
Ngabakutungire bitenji.
Inspiration. Nomugamba, give me this. Nakuwa echalowooza ati nachukwa bobi.
Yes.
The artists, you know how organized a Frigo band is.
Yes.
But even the artists are available to fit in, and the designer doesn't come.
I think you're working with the wrong designers. Let me give you 3 designers.
I've worked with all.
Ngenda kuwa 3 Ugandan designers who know what they are doing. And for you people think that the people who are popular are the ones who are good. Ne waliwo abana nga bali underground who can give you the product joy yagala. I think I have no problem with Bitenji. You might think I have a problem with Bitenji. I think Bitenji is nice, but I think it's overly overdone. and I think fashion should be also allowed to evolve. African fashion should evolve. And by the way, let me break your heart. I mean, most of these things were printed. No, not even Tanzania. Most of these things were printed in the Netherlands. That's not African print. Mugende munonye munyige naye nga ge mazima bannange. African fashion should evolve. Ochiraba.
Yeah.
Like there is a way we can fully express ourselves nga fashion agenda evolving with the times, but yet it shows our Africanness and tufu. The boys who are doing jewelry, they have arrived.
Yes.
Jewelry ntujogira bantu here too say. Naye ngoye bachayambala kiri ekitenji ne bachukwamu ka triangle one.
Actually African we need to evolve. Africa needs to evolve its fashion being because first of all, they need to go away from the ruggedness. They have to be at least sweet. You know, when you see African fashion designers, most of them have to be rugged, the rough, the dirty, the look. Someone has to, you know, fashion has to appeal to anyone. Like, for example, a T-shirt was designed by someone, but anyone wears a T-shirt.
Yes. No, I don't think, I disagree with the analogy of the rugged look. Abantu bebambala ebitengi babera smart. I'm just saying that but kubye nnyo that it hasn't evolved like over the years. Ne babera smart. Ochiraba. Ne baliko African smiles buline chintu. Ne chibera picture perfect, right?
African smile.
Kamanyako. Gay. Kati ne waliwo echimisinga, right? That chitenji is not dressed with some jewelry. And even if it's rugged, osumto sokupera ne chintu nga chiri rugged, nenga atonyumye. It can be rugged, it can even almost look dirty. Nenga atonyumye, you're clean. So this designer called Virgil Abloh in a philosophy art, ngagamba, you either make the piece the center of attention by painting its surroundings, or by no jaw surroundings, and you let the object shine. So you can either go for the clean cut look, or outfit here shining, or by no genda for the rugged look where it's your personality shining.
Yeah, but that one. Whatever now, it has to evolve. It has to look like.
Yes.
And first of all, we are creative, but we are reluctant.
We're lazy.
We are so lazy that we will call outfit you. Trust me, everyone would want to do that.
Yes.
Instead of challenging you and doing better. Like for example, Abraham has that event, but everyone would want to do the way Abraham does it. But you can do. Me one time I told them, well, how about if you do a fashion runway in the national park at sunset? And they're like,
"Oh, that's amazing! That's an amazing idea."
Yes.
No, it's
always, you know.
That can be the end.
First of all, ebintu tebikolaga na sound, the huge sound. 2, tebikolaga na barricades. Trust me, ate nekyala mu national park okimanyi mulimu hotels, ecologies.
There are hotels, yes.
Ecologies.
Yes.
Ate ecologies ziri positioned in an area where you have wildlife, and the sunset and the sunrise.
Yes, yes.
So if you have ideas like that,
that's a brilliant idea.
Niyo muntu nakola fashion runway. Serena.
Serena is convenient because I can give on the defense of my brother Abraham.
Not Abraham, actually. Because I'm also doing one at Serena. I'm also doing one at Serena.
What?
I'm also doing one event at Serena.
But for Abraham, the reason Kwango Gambe Serena Nempulirango yagala kumanyira.
No. Abraham see a kakola fashion event. Arapapa did it.
Ejetumani Kwanga is the biggest in Africa. But if I'm inviting international designers and I'm looking to collaborate with a hotel and have convenience when I'm choreographing a movement of like so many things, Beranchagala mu center nga BMPC bagenda kubera comfortable. So Serena makes sense.
Let me tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Gloria Wavamono used to do Kampala Fashion Week.
Oh, I remember that.
She
that
used
was
to
amazing.
host guys from the New York City and the whole crew. Naye
Ayinza kuba yali abasuuza waka ennyumba yaabwe bonnene.
No, si waka. But she used to do, like, for example, yakolako runway ko railway station, the railway station, in the midnight, and it was so beautiful. Nakolako wano muyenga wano ku forest resort, but the nenga abantu baleeta bonna almost 60% sibawa. The photographers, the producers, everything. You know, we have like you said, we have to think beyond making money.
There are two ways of
and
hosting
convenience.
things. I get you, but there are two ways of hosting things.
They love what they're doing, or they're doing it for money.
No, but what there's you hosting someone at a chinemo entertainment industry. Ate nacho chinyiga naye sinaba kyogera bulungi. Kiringanga ebi kiri mu bucket y'ebitenje. We need to go out and reinvent. There is where people get an opportunity, but that opportunity is out of sympathy. Then when mulowooza mbu bakikubye, yet the opportunity is because let's just put them on. But I think where we need to get to as creatives, if we are to like really, really develop, right, is where you stand on merit. No gamba, this designer came from Karamajong, her jewelry is #1 in the whole world. Omuntu namugula nga talabye na design oyo. The design hasn't come nga aliwati banange, please buy my stuff. I'm feeding all the widows and whatever. No.
Sure.
Where her work shines, where it's the pride in the work and the product.
Yeah.
So tukikozesa nnyo ekyo mu music
Sina music here. Sina music here.
like naye tusiteko okuvaayo where we are like these people are like really really good and they're standing on merit.
You see how Abraham has built his brand. Nakera ku machana akola asfas ezo nga talabiseeko ku venue. Onzola problem. Yakoze event aliwo. In Uganda we do something because of someone. Twatachinga nyo someone's name to something
but
else.
The event is called Abrahams.
Yeah, but it's a brand.
It's called Abrahams. Is that a brand? But that's in everything. That's in everything. Even for Facebook. Actually, I was reading a book. It's called Know Your Why, right? And in this book, the author is comparing Steve Jobs' mode of running Apple ne Bill Gates. Nagamba Bill Gates were fakat. The company is gone and the vision. They have a difficulty going forward. But this other guy died. Tim Cook was able to continue with that vision. So it's always a founder's dilemma of how to create a system that can actually run without them. It's not only Ugandans that are suffering with that. Ne companies are nenengazi Walmart. But now there are problems where if the founder goes, they are in problems in year 2 or year 1. Yeah, chiri wano oka. Chiri everywhere.